Alright, Lakewood, let's do some guided practice with translating equations. First, I've been wondering, should you ever trust an atom? No! They make up everything! Get it? You know, like atoms, building blocks of everything matter, right? Okay, enough chemistry. So we're going to do some more interesting equations in this part of the practice, and so I just want you to follow along with me. Let's make sense of some of these equations, and then you'll go through the rest of the work on your own, checking with the control. Just like before, we're going to make sure we read each problem twice, marking up the problem, and thinking about what's the rate, what's the constant, what other information do we have. Alright, so one, there are 5 days in a paycheck cycle, and Arish usually earns $7 per day. He has a goal of reaching $40 minimum paycheck requirement this week. So he writes the equation 5 times the quantity 7 plus x is equal to 40 to model this situation. We've got to solve the equation for x, and then we need to state our answer as a sentence showing what x actually means. So let's think about this for a second. I see that he usually earns $7 per day, so that's a rate. And then there are 5 days in the paycheck cycle, and so if I'm thinking about 5 days and the $7 per day, this should apply to that. I should somehow apply the 5 days to the $7. His goal is to get $40, so I know that makes sense as the total. It's 40. And somehow he got this equation, 5 times the quantity 7 plus x is equal to 40. So let's think. 7 is how much he's earning per day, and he would normally multiply that by 5 to reach his goal. But in order to get there, he needs to add something additional. So x has got to be the additional money he needs to earn. It's a different kind of equation than the equations we've seen before. That's okay. We can still apply the same reasoning to writing it and same reasoning to solving it. So let's go ahead and solve this guy. 5 times the quantity 7 plus x is equal to 40. In order to solve this, you've got to use the distributive property. That means you're multiplying the 5 times both of the terms on the inside. Remember that a number right next to parentheses means multiplication. So to solve this, I'm going to first simplify using the distributive property, which means 5 times 7 and 5 times x. I like to rewrite exactly that so I know exactly what I'm doing. 5 times 7 and 5 times x. And now I can simplify. 5 times 7 is 35. I can't simplify 5 times x yet, so I'm just going to write it as it is. All of that's equal to 40. Now I can solve this just like a two-step equation. Subtract 35, it's the constant. I've got 5x left on this side. And over here, I've got 5. And then, almost done, divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay, so x is equal to 1. And if we go back to what we were thinking, if this is the additional amount he needs to earn each day, then that's what he would multiply by 5 to get to 40. So to state our answer as a sentence showing the meaning of x, Arish would need to earn an additional $1 each day to meet his goal. Okay, so let's look at another one. And this one is maybe just a little more interesting because it has some rational numbers, and it's kind of a different format. So I'm actually going to jump down to number 3, right here. And let's look at more of a geometric type of problem. An octagon has 7 sides, which have a length of k feet. The 8th side has a length of 3.9 feet, as shown below. The perimeter of the octagon is 27.7 feet. Okay, so going back and reading this again, an octagon has 7 sides, so 7 sides that are k feet, so that 7 is going to apply to the k. This is the rate, 7k. The 8th side has a length of 3.9 feet. This side right here. That's our constant. It's not being multiplied by anything. And the perimeter is 27.7. And if I remember perimeter, I'm talking about adding all the sides. So that means everything's going to be equal to 27.7. Okay, let's try to write an equation for this. So if I were to add up all of this stuff, I would start with 3.9, the constant. And I could write plus k, plus k, plus k, plus k, and so on, but that's going to take forever. So instead, I'm going to remember I know this rate. It's 7 times k. All of that together is equal to 27.7. Alright, equation looks good. Let's solve it. Let's subtract 3.9 from both sides. We deal with the constant first. This means that 7k is left on this side. Over here, we've got to do some regrouping. Divide both sides by 7. And I'm going to do some side work for this, since I need to do some long division. And don't forget that decimal goes straight up. So k is equal to 3.4. Alright, so hopefully that was helpful. A little bit more practice writing and solving equations. Go through the rest of this practice. Don't forget number 2. Ms. Hunter is important. And check your work with the control when you are done. Good luck.